Yes, for today we're going to go over something very valuable because I have worked not in one, not in two, but in three massive coaching businesses. Not as student, not even as I'm just, a coach here. I actually seen their sales systems from the inside out. So I'm going to go over the main five things that I have learned in these coaching businesses. Big coaching businesses, some did over 1 million a month cash, not revenue. So let's just dive right into it. Before I do just want to show you a bit of proof so that I'm not just yapping. So I work with Julian Blanc, a big self-help influencer for many, many years. This is actually me doing some coaching calls for him, big group of people. And I worked with him for like 4 years. And I actually just know exactly how his sales team work. Then I've also worked with Richard Yu for a little bit, big influencer as well, business coach, making crazy amounts of money at the young age. And then here's just a little bit of proof. Davey Closer interview. And then I went to close on with him. Same goes for Marcel Klein. Also was one of his team members. As you can see here, Dave at Marcel Klein. Just showing this for proof because there's a lot of fake gurus nowadays. I'm definitely not one of them. And then here's another one, just, kind of me just being inside his business, calling people, messaging people, doing all that jazz. So now that's out of the way, let's dive into the value. So the first thing that you notice once you start working for these big dogs, okay, and it's not really a sales related thing, nor is it marketing, it's just how they treat their team, is you actually hardly speak with them. You really don't see them often. You don't, maybe once a week. That's already a lot. You're mostly speaking to managers. Now with Julian, I did talk a lot with him because, we kind of had the same interests. He has a family, I'm building a family. We had some good things, we had some good vibes. But with Marcel, with Richard, if I would walk in the street, they wouldn't probably recognize me. And not that it's bad, it's just that at that level, they've got sales managers that take on all the responsibility. They're just kind of the leader and they're kind of steering the boat. And I guess that's very inspiring too, to take that as a Northern Star. I mean, who wouldn't want that? You make 500K a month, cash coming in, million a month, and you're just doing whatever you want, and the sales team is working on that. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I want. So it's really inspiring to see that. But this is basically what happens in these big businesses. You're just one of the team members, and you're talking to the sales managers. And then if you do really well, you can become one of those sales managers. This is how it goes, right? Now, there's a principle. It's called Who Not How, and I love this book a lot. And I would recommend anybody to watch, go over this book, Who Not How. Amazing book, because it teaches you exactly how you can achieve these big teams, big goals, not through, how do I get there? Dave, what's the system? Dave, what's the appointment setting script? Nice question, but rather ask yourself, Dave, who can help me to get there? Can be a coach like myself, but usually it's people that work for you with immensely good skills. So I was a who to these people. So with that being said, that's the first one. You hardly get to speak to them because they master the principle of who, not how. Now the second thing, I'm not here to make friends, I'm just being honest. They kind of use cheap labor. They kind of underpay. They underpaid me. I'm not going to say how much they paid me, but for the work that I did, the things that I gave them, they have massively underpaid me. All right. And I took it for granted, and I just took the jobs. I call them jobs because I'm not really doing entrepreneurship. And I was still running my business on the side. I didn't stop that. But here's the thing. I learned so much inside of these businesses. The money is just whatever, right? And this is just in business in general. The business is nice, but the main benefit that comes from business is the man who you become. If you become a very high value man, I hate the word, but just, having all your ducks in a row, you're locked in, you're a good person. I mean, the money is just, it's nice to have. The best thing that you get is you building yourself up as a man. So I work for them. I basically just learned what they got in the business, and now I can apply all that into my business. I know exactly what systems they use. And for example, with Marcel, what he used, he had literally hundreds of thousands of leads because he just spent a lot of money on ads. He was very good at speaking on camera, and he's quite well known. So we had all these leads just in Go High Level. And in Go High Level, we just call these leads cold. Sometimes they saw some content and they booked a call. Sometimes they bought a small low ticket program. I mean, it's not the low ticket that you see nowadays, like $17 program turned into 5K high ticket. No, bro. He just had a lot of things that he pre-recorded and he just sold it for $100, $200, $300. And then we called them, hey, John, I just saw you call. I just see you booked no, not booked. I just saw you bought this program. Da da da. What's your goals? And now you're on a sales call with somebody. When I saw it, I was like, wow, this is mind blowing. You don't have to be like appointment setting, or you don't have to be like book link in bio. You just call the motherfuckers. You just be like, what's up? You just bought this. What's your goals? And they're just like, well, yeah, I just bought this. Thanks for calling. And then boom, you can close on that call. It absolutely changed my mind, because over the last half a decade, I've always jumped on Zoom calls at appointed times. And Marcel, he was just boom, just calling people up, cold calling, warm calling. And then also doing on the side, of course, the booked calls. So he had setters as well, triage setters, not appointment setters, triage setters. The only thing they did is talk to these people and set up booking calls for us, closers. So we had appointments in the calendar, but he also had setters that were just calling these people all day to book appointments. That's the only thing they did. They booked appointments, and they got paid for the amount of appointments that they booked. So if they book an appointment, they get like $25. And then we had an opportunity to close them, and we took commission on that. So what I was trying to say is that they kind of underpay, and why they do it is because they know they've got fans. So for example, Julian, Marcel, Richard, they've got big channels. So they've got fans, people that actually like them, and they're not just followers, they're fans. This is also another thing. They've got big fans because of, well, I'll touch upon that another third thing. But once you've got fans, you can have people work for you for very little. I worked for Julian the first year for absolutely nothing, for free, because I thought it was cool. I was like, what the hell? Okay. I mean, I like you. I mean, I've been seeing your YouTube for now a while. I mean, yeah, of course I want to work for you for free. That's fine, right? And then they just basically make money off me because I'm helping them and all those things, right? And I mean, that's basically what they do. They underpay or they don't pay you, and because they can, right? I mean, I didn't feel forced to work for Julian. It was awesome. We had a good time, right? So that's what they do, right? They kind of underpay. They might not pay, and it's not a bad thing. I'm not blaming them. I'm just stating the facts, right? They get people on board who are big fans, and this is leverage. It's the game. So the third thing that I want to touch upon, YouTube. They all got a YouTube library working for them 24/7. A video from 2022, still booking them calls. A video from 2019, still being watched. So the short form, they use it all, of course. It gets attention, gets people in the door. But YouTube is where the money is made. It converts people. It's a platform where content compounds like an investment. So it's one of the reasons why I'm so much on YouTube. I've really neglected this part. I wish I started YouTube way back in the beginning when I started this. I would have been way richer than I am. But hey, the best time to plant a tree is 5 years ago. Second best time is right now. So here I am. So YouTube is one of those massive platforms. Specifically, Julian, he used it a lot. Like he got big on YouTube. I mean, you can search him up. What he does, he basically repurposes content that he does with his live events, where we actually met, right? This is what the photo that I was showing to you previously. This is just me and him on the Amsterdam live event. It's literally a couple of kilometers from my home, so I was like, yeah, let's do it. I was there with my Wim Hof shirt as well. I was in my spiritual times back then, man. Ice bath challenge. Just rocked it towards the live event. Now I would just suit up. You know, it's funny how this is like 2022, so it's very many summers ago. But what I was trying to say is that what he does, he basically has these cameras all set up, and then he just does his speeches, his lives. It's awesome. And then he repurposes that for the whole year on his YouTube. And this way he just has YouTube going. And sometimes he does like a video where he calls people to his coaching, like, hey, I'm starting a new coaching, hop on. So it's very interesting to see how he specifically did that, because he's not really recording videos, right? He is actually just making live videos. Now, here's what they do as well. This is an extra. They do record a lot, but they record content for their clients. So they don't spend too much time having the camera set up and then recording. Some do, but most of them, they actually make a lot of time for their clients. So the delivery, which is obviously very important, because if you're going to have these amount of numbers, I just need some water, just came from the gym. If you're going to do these numbers, you're going to obviously have to deliver on it, or else people will talk really bad about you, which actually happened to Richard. Because Richard, I'm not going to talk bad about anybody. I love this coaching, made a lot of money with it. I was one of his top students. There's actually a video that you can watch me speak to one of his students. It's actually where it says, just quickly, this one.
The one and only.
Not this one, this one. I did. I was doing
yeah,
so well that people start asking me, how the hell do you do this? So I started just to talk about it. So this is something from my 2022. You can watch this. It's on my YouTube. But what I was trying to say, like what he did, he paid he asked a very big price, 8K for his coaching. So some people pay that on credit, right? Because the closers were hard closing him, the clients, right? And some paid, but they never really got any good results. And then he eventually shut down the program because he wanted to go into a different niche. He was helping mostly people get into coaching, but then he now shifted it to helping everybody and anybody just to make content online with virality or something, because everybody wants to be a content creator nowadays. So what happened is he basically just shut down the program. But some people, they paid like 8,000 and they only had like 3 months in the program, which is fine because the program was 3 months. But in 3 months, you're not going to build a coaching business, right? I was already doing coaching before I got in this program. So I was already working with like a Max Torno, is like also another business coach. And like after the year, I also joined Richard because I wanted to learn more, and he really helped me to hit good months. But a lot of people, they didn't. And they started still messaging me to this day, Dave, man, don't you think he's a scammer? I'm like, no, he's not a scammer. Maybe he wasn't too moral with his coaching, but he's not a scammer. So I'm very happy with the coaching that he gave me. But there's a lot of people that talk badly about him to this day. This is 4 years ago. So he's going to have a lot of haters for the rest of his life. They don't just talk bad about him, but about his delivery. That's the thing you want to most avoid. So that's the next one, just the YouTube and the delivery. Then this is what I already touched on previously. The followers that they've got, they turn them into big fans. How? By sharing their story. Not just, this is me, here's 3 tips, that's it. They share their story. Richard, back in the day, addicted to porn, now be a businessman. Julian, very bad with women, very nervous, now he's a coach talking on stage. Marcel, fat kid, didn't have any money, now he's a millionaire. Dave Van Vliet, massively insecure, doesn't know how to make money, now making money online, traveling to the world after having lost his health and a lot of money in the meantime with his business partners. And there's probably more to it, which I'll share soon, but I'll go bits by pieces, right? So this is the thing, right? You need to share your story so that you get people to bring you onto your journey. This way, you're building real fans. And real fans, they just don't pay you a little bit of money. They keep paying you money, right? They keep paying you money day in, day out. And that's the last and 5th one. They just don't sell once. They sell you 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I mean, take the example of Marcel Klein. He literally had somebody buy one of his low-ticket programs, maybe $300. Without waiting, he asked us to immediately call those people. Just so pick up the phone he just bought. Yo, what's up? You just bought the program. Yeah? Okay, cool. So what are you looking for? And then boom, upsells them on a live seminar, cost 10K. Boom, sell them up on the high-ticket coaching, 5K. So it's crazy, right? And then with Julian, he had one program. It's like the Transformation Mastery. It's like $100, just like a couple of videos and a meditation. And then boom, you have like the subscription model, which is like 100 a month for 12 months, 1.2K. And then boom, he's got like the high ticket programs, which is going to be like anywhere between 4 to 6K. So it's always these value ladders that go up, right? So this is the next thing. They always have a big value ladder. They don't just have one offer, because this is the thing, right? This is what the mainstream advice is, at least what I heard back in the day. Now it's more like low ticket offer and then high ticket. But what I heard always is one niche, one offer, 1 million. Right now it's more like low ticket offer, and then you get the high ticket, which I don't truly think it makes sense, because people that buy low ticket, they're not high ticket buyers. If you buy something for $17, doesn't mean you're going to invest 5K into a program, right? It takes a lot of identity switching for us to do that. So I don't really agree with these people. I think if you're going to make an email list with giving away freebies and all these things, unless your freebie is like massively over delivering, you're probably not going to make too much money of it. You're just better off just getting them on a call and just selling them a high ticket. Either way, that's the 5th thing. They really have an amazing value ladder where they work up from the bottom, not just like $17 high program, but like minimum $100, $200 for the first tier. And then they build them way up. And they also have the one-on-one coaching, which is like the creme de la creme, right? It's almost unpayable. Marcel Klein, I mean, I think he wants to be like the second Tony Robbins. He just literally pitched, I think it was like this boxer, I don't know his name, a little blonde guy. He's like a brother. Everybody knows him. I think it's Jake Paul or something. Could also be his brother, but he pitched him for $1 million a year. This is his coaching, and apparently he bought. So I guess afterwards he was maybe like, okay, I guess I'm worth $1 million a year now. And that's one of his one-on-one coaching prices. I mean, imagine getting $1 million wired for your coaching. That's pretty next level. But that's what he did, and he's what he told us. He sells a couple of those each year. So all praise to him. That's really awesome. I know Tony Robbins does this, and he has like a waiting period. But yeah, Tony Robbins has been in the game for like 40 years, of course. But yeah, their high ticket, like their one-on-ones is like unpayable with Julian as well. Like it's very, very big. I'm not going to name any numbers. Obviously only the one with Marcel Klein and me, because it's just, it's ridiculous, right? But he gets to justify it because he's like a hypnosis coach. So he says like, I'll definitely hypnotize your mind in such a way that you're going to get back to $1 million, right? So anyways, these are the main lessons and things that they all do for $1 million a month coaching business. If you enjoyed this live, make sure to subscribe. I'm going live frequently, if not daily, to get value. You can always watch the replays, so just hit the subscribe button. And if you want coaching with me, just DM me on Instagram, and you know how it goes. Looking forward to the next one. Make sure to write down all these pointers and implement it in your own business, because you as well can become a big coach. One, it starts all with the mind here. And then two, all these people that I just mentioned, I've worked with them. They're still human beings. They just know exactly how to build the system out, and they know how to show up every single day and have patience, because they didn't build this in a month. This is a very long process. But you, as well as I, can do this. So see you on the other side.